Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, great for recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means share it with somebody who might get something out of it. Other than that, let's get into it. Guys, we're gonna go right back to the just for today and a meditation, which today is titled "Choosing Life." Choosing life. Change from self-destructive patterns of life became necessary. Active addiction is a smoldering death wish. Each of us courted death every time we used our lifestyles to put us at risk. The life of an addict is sold cheaply with every day and every dose. In recovery, the first pattern we change is the pattern of using. Staying clean is the start of our journey into life. But our self destructive behavior usually went far deeper than just using. Even in recovery, we may still treat ourselves as if we are worthless. When we treat ourselves badly, we feel badly. And when we feel badly, we seek relief, maybe even our old solution, drugs. Choosing recovery means choosing life. We decide each day that we want to live and be free. Each time we avoid self destructive behavior, we choose recovery. And the affirmation is just for today, I will choose life by choosing recovery. I will take care of myself. Guys, again, it's the reason I do these things every day. They apply incredibly well. I've learned so much more this time around in recovery because I'm actually working a recovery program. I don't know why I had such a hard time with it before, if I just wasn't ready. I don't know. But fortunately, I was given the gift of desperation. I was beaten into submission this time around. And with that came the clarity to actually start looking at what I was doing and just how screwed up my life had really become. Um, I honestly, guys, I don't know if it was because I didn't think I had it in me. And I shouldn't say, towards the end of my run before I got clean, I could not see uh, trying to put something together again just to go piss it away. And again, the difference this time around, guys, is I started praying. And again, this is about, well, it all ties in together. I started praying. That had made all the difference. So I tell you guys all the time, prayer and meditation is the most important part of my personal recovery program, most important part of my life, period, because my life is much more than just recovery, but my life would be forfeit if not for recovery. I know that for a fact. I know for a fact if I go back to any kind of drug use, and again, for myself, I don't even smoke weed. I don't want any part of it. First of all, I'm enjoying actually taking the time to find out who I am, what matters to me, and then what I'm actually capable of sober. The clarity, the strength of mind, my problem solving, my time management, my personal management skills. Like these are all things they're getting to be really really good. I'm finding that anything I focus on, I'm able to conquer very very quickly, and it's because I'm working a complete spiritual recovery program. I'm choosing to live right, and that's the thing, guys. You can half this. I read this every week in our opening of our meeting. Half measures avail us nothing, and I think that's hugely important. At least that's absolutely what I'm finding, and that's what I always did before was half measures. Like, oh, I will, I'll stay sober. I'll go to a halfway house, but I won't go to a meeting every day. I'll cheat on this. I'll cheat on that, but then I'll take this serious. And I thought I could pick and choose what I had to do to stay clean, to stay sober, and it never worked. I failed every single time and faster every time, and it didn't. Even the first ones weren't very long. So this time around, I was actually open to suggestion, and that's, I think, one of the most important things, guys. That's certainly what I find. That people, I'm not calling anybody out, and I only like to speak for myself. So I'll say it like this: the times that I went in and I was deciding what I was willing to do and what was just too much, that was out of the question. And I don't care what the excuse is, guys, because you know what? Now that it's what matters to me and I understand that I actually can do this and I'm starting to see what I'm capable of because I didn't put stipulations on anything. I said I literally came into this whatever it takes, whatever I have to do, whatever I have to give up, wherever I have to be, whatever I'm told to do, I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. I promised myself I would do everything to the best of my ability this time around. I would give myself a fair and honest shot at life. And guys, I don't, if you've been rocking with me for a while here, if you've been with this channel since the beginning or even any length of time, you know how amazingly beautiful it is. And again, it's by comparison. By comparison, where I was and what I was dealing with and what I've been through, compared to what I'm doing now. That's the only comparison I'll make, because I'm not going to compare myself with him, her, or the other, because different variables, different people, different situations. What you want to do is look at where you were, look at what brought you to where you got to, right? What made you come into recovery, and then be willing to do whatever it takes to get over those, because you are absolutely capable of anything. Anything you decide that you want enough that you're willing to do whatever it takes, you're gonna get. And as simple as that. I want a good life. I want to succeed. I want a future. I want stability. I want love. I want joy. I want happiness. I want peace of mind. I want ease. I want security. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And again, it's not anything outside of myself. I'm not willing to go screw people over and rob, rip, and steal, because those are all short-term gains. And that's the thing, guys. Anything you're cutting corners, cheating, robbing, stealing, that's not winning. That's not doing it. It might look flashy, and that's the problem with everybody today. Everybody thinks they can cut corners and just take the quick flash, and no, guys, when you do things right, you build. And there's what I didn't understand from before. I thought I could just, I got into a good job, so now I'm good, right? What I didn't understand was, by cutting all those corners, by skipping all the foundational steps, I had nothing, my house of cards had nothing to stand on. So that's why I'm so fortunate that I figured it out this time. Or I've not even figured out, because I've been told it a billion times, but I finally realized I had to shut my mouth and open my ears and listen, and then apply everything I was told to my life. And little by little, step by step, I started putting a foundation together. That has made all the difference. By not in the past, I'd always want to rush out and get to step C without bothering to take the time to deal with step A and step B. Fortunately, this time around, I said, no, that's it. Burn it all to the ground, because everything I have is not working. Nothing I was doing was giving me a result that I wanted long term. Something might look good. Yeah, I could run out and get hired by anybody because I got good skill sets and I can talk and I'm a personal person. But without taking the time to heal all the things that made me not sustain any length of sobriety, no matter if I had just run out and get that, just like every other time, I would have pissed it away. So this time I'm not rushing anything. I'm turning my will over to my higher power every day. I'm choosing to just do whatever's right, whatever's required, whatever opportunities are put in front of me, without putting my own spin. If anything, I got to start stepping up and deciding what it is that I want now. Now that I'm at the point that I have opportunities, I've got I got resources, and now I got to figure out, okay, what's next for me, because now I've stabilized and I'm becoming respected and I'm being given opportunities, and it's beautiful. I mean, I'm incredibly grateful for everything that's happened in my life, but it didn't happen overnight, and I wasn't ready for it. Had any of this stuff happened early on, like I'd always run out and did, guys, I literally tried to stay home and not answer my phone, only talk to people in recovery, only talk to my doctors, only go to my appointments, and do just enough. Like literally, the day I get home from rehab, my friend Doug called me up and he's like, listen, you need some money for food. He was so proud of me for making it through rehab and getting back and doing good. And he's like, okay, I'm going to have somebody come, what do you need? You want $500? And I'm like, no, God, no. I'm like, no, you know what? Give me like 100 so I can get groceries. And I literally went out and spent 80 of it on groceries. I didn't want more than $20 in my pocket at that point, because I didn't know. I hadn't put together a string of good decisions yet. But for once in my life, instead of being greedy and just having it at my disposal, I didn't want more than I could handle. I didn't want more than I needed, because I wasn't ready for that. And because I've taken those steps, I've now got more than I've ever had. I've got more opportunities. I'm being given, I'm picking up contracts and clients and knowledge, and building my channel. I'm building a life, guys. I'm choosing life every day, because I'm choosing to treat myself well. And I think that's the underlying message of message here. You gotta do everything in the proper order. You want to do everything right, but you gotta choose. You gotta make all the right decisions. It includes making choices that make you happy about yourself. I looked at my self-destructive patterns and realized they were everything. Like literally, guys, I had to stop everything. I had to change everything. I had to change every instinct, every decision. I had to literally stop and second guess myself every time I had a thought because I was so broken. I had such a pattern of bad thinking, and I looked at myself in such a poor light, coming into rehab, that I didn't give myself any worth, and I only put my worth on what I was producing, and then I wasn't capable of finishing jobs because I was getting high, so I didn't see my value there. You understand what I'm saying? It's just the whole spinning wheel and that snowball catching momentum going downhill. So I had to let it go. I couldn't stand at the bottom and catch it. I just let it go, and I started fresh. But it started with everything, guys. I had to start looking at myself and say, okay, what is it that I like about myself? Well, I like to help people. I like when I'm kind and I'm giving and I stop and help a car. Literally, it was a great light bulb moment when I thought about the fact that for even all the years that I was homeless, if I saw a car broken on the side of the road, I'd stop and help and refuse payment. Like, that's something I like about myself. Okay, so I like to be of service. So I started gearing up, trying to be of service. I realized I've got a brain when it's not addled on drugs, so I started studying, I started reading, prayer. I realized faith. I was a man, as much as I called myself an atheist, I was terrified of offending God. Well, how can you be an atheist if you're afraid to offend God, right? So I thought about that, and I started realizing I had faith all along. But I was willing to admit that I was wrong and then let go of all those fallacies that were running through my brain. That's what I mean by choosing life, guys. You don't have to do it right the first time, as long as you're able to recognize that you did it wrong, admit you are wrong, even if it's just to yourself and your higher power, and then make the changes and try it again and be willing to try a different way, somebody else's recommendation rather than your own if you're in the wrong. Guys, we all have an inner guidance system with us that tells us when we're doing good, when we feel good, when we do wrong. And again, we may have overridden that for so long that we've numbed it out. We don't know it off the bat. So it might take time in early recovery to get yourself to a point where you can start to feel what's right, feel what's wrong, and then just let your nervous system settle and start making good decisions. But when you do, and then you start stacking good decisions, you're choosing life, and your life will start to get incredibly good. I mean, I shouldn't say incredibly. No, it will. It'll get incredibly good. It'll be better than you've ever seen it. But it's going to take time, and it's going to take work, and it's going to take, continuously making good decisions, continually looking at yourself to see, am I talking ill of myself? Am I treating myself as though I'm worthless? Yes, I've made mistakes. Yes, I have to make amends. When I'm capable, I do. Tell yourself that. But you got to follow through, guys. Always follow through with what you tell yourself. Because, again, that is where you start to feel good about yourself. You say, okay, I'm a man of my word. I did what I said. I told myself I was going to do. These are the things that I started doing early on, and I had fantastic results. So I've continued to. And as they become my baseline, I keep stepping up and doing it more. And stepping up and doing it more. And there's nobody that whether I've known them since I got out of rehab or when I've known them for 30 years, people are shocked by how quickly everything about me has changed. My physical appearance, my mental clarity, my spiritual strength, my everything, guys. My education, my vocabulary, my ability to do work and to do quality work. Like, everything in my life is getting so much better because I show up every day and do the absolute best I can with what I have without trying to tax anybody else, without trying to take from somebody else. I try to be part of the solution. I try to choose life at every turn. And it's gotten so it's my natural baseline now. And it amazes me. I feel good so many times a day because I get compliments and accolades constantly because I stand out in every crowd because that's what I set out to do. If you watch my earliest videos, I think I said that 4 or 5 times in every video in the beginning. Guys, you gotta stand out, be the one that stands out. Look at what's going on around you and find a way to do a little bit better, I'm hungry. I want life. I want to choose life. I want to choose better. I want to make myself better, and I want to lead by example and live a life that others can look at and say, wow, he did it, so can I. And because I've chosen those things and I work hard at those things every day, I'm getting to places I never dreamed possible, and I'm only 8 months in. Guys, I'm going to call that the lesson for today before we start just saying the same things over and over again. Guys, please take these lessons to heart. Please believe that you are worth it. Please choose life. To choose life, you got to do the right things, guys, and you got to do the right things in the right order and to the best of your ability. And if you do, your life will get so good it'll shock you. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. Thank you so much. We will see you in the next one.